Folks,
That's what she said.
hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello and welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse. Uh, Glenn and I had stuff that was running long today, so we decided to kick off a half an hour later. We do apologize. Well, it just means that you get to enjoy us later into the night, which means you can't watch, I don't know, baseball or something like that. I'm sure we're annoying somebody by running a little bit late, but hey. But better for us to announce we're running late to just be late by half an hour, right? So I think that worked out better. So,
True.
welcome. It's always fun to be hanging out with the old man Grognard.
I'm not hanging out. Oh, yeah.
If you were hanging out, you could be out hanging or something like that. So, in
Yeah.
any case,
I dust the floor.
Glenn,
Yeah. Mm.
what do we got going on? Because Glenn and I have been talking about some stuff, and Glenn's a bit more
Well,
wired into some stuff than I am, so I think Glenn will have to take.
I like this one because it's simple and I'm simple. The Venus thing.
Oh, okay. Well, let's delve into this and
okay. Okay, it involves Venger Satanas. It involves Exalted Funeral, and it involves necrotic home, and not in a good way. What happened was, apparently, I think it was Exalted Funeral's Discord server.
Okay.
Somebody they liked Venger stuff. And next thing everybody knows, the guy who runs the server is, yeah.
I'm going to say this. Venger stuff can be an acquired taste, but his earlier stuff, his fantasy setting stuff, his adventures, high quality, well written, amazing art, and whether you like the guy or not, he does some good work. I don't like his sci-fi crap, but
yeah. But what happened was this guy put this on here, and from what I've seen, next thing he knows, he's being banned off the server for liking a Nazi.
See,
and so, again, of course, Wenger got wind of this, and he pretty much, blew up on his blog. And then Aaron the Pedantic put out a video saying people should boycott Exalted Funeral, and by extension, Old School Essentials, which Necrotic publishes, and Exalted Funeral is their U.S. distributor. So that's where that stands right now.
See, now here's the way I see it. Is Wenger a shock jock in the age when shock jocks have mostly been tarred and feathered or buried? I mean, even Howard Stern is no longer the shock jock of the real world, right? So, I would say that Wenger is trying to be a shock jock. Is he a Nazi? No. Is he a priest of Cthulhu or some shit like that? According to him, yes. That's fine. And I guess if you watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, something like that, might say, well, if you're into Cthulhu, you must be a Nazi because all the Nazis seem to be into the old ones, at least in Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
Hi, troll.
So, I mean, maybe you can make that bizarre connection, but he's not a Nazi. But here's my issue. Nazi has become such a catch-all. I don't agree with you. You're a Nazi. I don't agree with you. And you've got. If I call you a Nazi, then I can say punch a Nazi, right? Because one goes with the other. And the definition of who or what is a Nazi these days is you have political views that don't conform to mine, and now you're a Nazi. I've been called a Nazi. So if Wenger is a Nazi, then I guess
to me, calling someone a Nazi is kind of low hanging. It's kind of low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying?
It's like your mother wears army boots. It's like, okay, the insult is a bit overdone, and nobody's listening to it anymore. Now, I like Aaron the Pedantic. I believe we're going to have Aaron on in 2 weeks' time.
Next show, on the 15th.
All right. So we're going to have Aaron on.
And I got other stuff. I would rather about this when he's on here because I got more stuff about gaming I'd talk to him about.
Right. So we're kind of getting this out of the way, though I'm sure it will come up. But here's the thing. I am somebody who is very against any kind of book banning, book burning, and boycotting. And I've said it before. Do I think Zach Smith is a piece of shit? Yes. My personal interactions with Zach allow me to say, without any hesitation, Zach is a piece of shit, and if he was on fire, I would rather piss on my own feet than piss on him to put the fire out. All right? I really think he is, as a human being, he's pretty shitty. As a creator, whereas I don't like his art for the most part.
Fantastic.
He's written something, and I'm not going to count Vornheim in this because I think Vornheim is shit, and he phoned it in. But
I will.
I
love Vornheim.
Well, see, we will agree to disagree, Glenn. But I think he's done some.
Yeah, more people should do that.
Yeah, Red and Pleasant Land, Blue Medusa. I mean, there's some good stuff that has come out from Zach. So to dismiss Zach's work because he is a piece of shit, and therefore his work is a piece of shit, is not just lazy, but it misses the point. There are some creators in history that probably were pieces of shit in how they were morally, but they did some great fiction, or they did some great artwork, or whatever, or they were a great political leader, but you wouldn't want to leave them around any of your female members of your family. That's fine. So to say, well, since Exalted Press distributes, what is it? Old School
Exalted
Essentials.
Funeral.
Exalted Funeral distributes Old School Essentials. You need to, boycott Old School Essentials. First off, I understand the connection, but that's kind of on par with saying, whoa, okay, what is it? Like somebody's product at drive-thru offends me. Therefore, I am going to boycott all of drive-thru RPG because they're the distributor, right? They are a distributor. They're not a publisher. So if you want to say I want to boycott one publisher at Exalted Funeral Press, because that publisher took a certain side, all right, I I'm not crazy about it, but fine. But to go through the 6 levels of Kevin Bacon to find connections to things so you can have an excuse to boycott them, I'm not comfortable with. And I'm sure they're going to be viewers and listeners.
It would have been easy. It would have been easier if it happened on the publisher level and not the distributor level.
Right.
I mean, you just say, okay, I'm not buying from them anymore. My response to it was, well, you don't want to play Old School Essentials. That's too bad, because he had a lot of good videos on OSE. But my take was, well, go play Labyrinth Lord. And I want to extend that to saying, well, go find another distributor here then. If they're going to be a problem, why should you get whitewashed with the same brush as what they did?
But here's the thing. Listen, maybe as a publisher, I'm happy with Exalted Press's work getting my stuff out, and it's going to take a long time finding a new distributor.
After this happened, you might not be. If it's a matter of survival for them, they'd probably do
it. I doubt it.
Hi, Dave.
I don't think it's going to be a matter of survival. I really think that the outrage mob is misplaced if they are going to say, I'm going to target Old School Essentials, or is it Mark Borg? Is also probably another
whatever
game.
else they carry.
Whatever else.
More, I think they do Mark Borg too for the U.S.
Do I think banning Venger was stupid? Yes. Or banning
No,
people
it
who go,
didn't ban
hey,
Venger. Yeah.
I like Venger stuff. Oh, you're banned. Like, you know what? That is
For liking a
childish.
Nazi.
Right. That's childish bullshit. But Gavin Norman, right? Old School Essentials. Was he involved in the process?
Right.
No. So
No.
why would you start, boycotting that company specifically? Why? Because they're the bigger seller? I don't. Oh, it makes me feel so dirty to even
in the
consider
U.S. In the U.S., I think that's the most. In the U.S., I think that's the most prominent product that Exalted Funeral handles.
Oh,
So
they do a lot more stuff. They cover a lot of the zines that are out there. And I'll be honest with you, some of these zines push the envelope, but I don't think
they
that
all do.
I don't think that Wenger is getting this pushback because his work is sexually implicit or explicit. I don't think that's what it is, and I think what it comes down to is that Wenger is somebody who has a loyal following, but he pisses people off. All right. And I'm saying this from somebody who has certainly in the past been pissed off by Wenger and some of his antics. And I will call them
not new in this industry.
No. And does that mean that, all right, I have a personal issue at some time with Wenger? Did it mean that I appreciated the work that he did that was quality less? No. I actually separate the work from the creator. In a way, I have to.
Me
because
too.
if I'm going to review something, and I will review if I cover something and I go, oh, I think this is awesome, and that person happens to be somebody that's a good friend of mine, you'll always see me going, oh, and by the way, James Spahn is one of the best friends I have, and despite that fact, he's a great friend of mine. His work is still effing awesome, and I think you should look at X, Y, Z. I think I've probably done that with Wenger, where I find him to be at the time probably annoying, but this is good. So I mean,
if I couldn't separate the art from it's ridiculous. It really is. If I couldn't separate art from artist, I can see about 24 movies on my DVD and Blu-ray shelf over there that I wouldn't have.
But and here's something that I'm gonna mention, because this is something that comes from Wenger. All right.
Okay.
I don't know, a year, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, there was a product released on drive-thru, and in the product description, at the end of it, there was the following 4 letters: ACAB, which stands for all cops are bastages. So, had nothing to do with the product, and they just slipped it in there to make their political statement. Fine. I, as a consumer, complained to drive-thru saying, listen, these 4 letters have nothing to do with the product. They have nothing to do with telling you what you're going to get. It's all a political statement, and I feel these 4 letters should be removed. Now, and then I really didn't follow much about it, but apparently the product got removed. Probably because, again, they were playing the system. They didn't get removed because Eric Tenkar said ban them. They got removed because they were playing the system at drive-thru for their own good. So what did Wenger do? Wenger claimed that I was into censorship and banning people. So, and that upset him. So now, is he supporting the idea of boycotting Old School Essentials because of this? If he is, then I have a huger issue with it, because his issue with me, and this is just I might be talking out of my ass and making an assumption, but he had an issue with me over that because he knew it could get attention to his blog by writing about it because it had to do with Eric Tenkar. So, and now this is going to get him attention because he's dealing with old school essentials. I don't see the boycott or whatever you want to call it, this movement gaining traction aside from the fact that Wenger is going to play this up as long as he can. And I'm not saying he wasn't wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's a good showman and he's found an opportunity to use something to his advantage. And this was something that was an unforced foul by Exalted Funeral Press. Somebody there, one of the admins, is a fucking asshole and is power hungry. Like, oh, well, you like Wenger. You're a Nazi. You must go. Boom. And started all this shit. And guess what? That stupid admin over on that Discord server did the biggest favor that Wenger has had probably in the last 2 years. He's getting more attention for this because some jackass had to wave his willy around and say, hey, look how big I am. And it's just going to backfire. And I'm laughing at that aspect of it. I'm laughing at that part because that is an unforced error for, and I'm going to make you a bet, it wasn't even somebody who works with the Exalted Press, probably some volunteer mod. Condor, I like Ven. He's a pussycat, but we know the game is all about money. I don't bother holding that against all of these guys. And you're right, and it's all about money for Exalted Press, and it's all about money for V, and that's fine. And if you're going to do great work or do good work, that's V doesn't. Even when he annoys me, even when he pisses me off, he doesn't phone shit in. All right. If he puts out a product, he puts effort into it. I will give him that credit. So
I suppose it's a little late for me to make a disclaimer of this is what I found out today. You know, I started on Facebook, Wenger saying looking for dirt on Exalted Funeral, and I think he did call out, sure. But then I went and looked at his blog. Then I looked there in the Pedantics video. Okay, we got an issue here. So This is how I understand it. Anybody want to correct me? Please feel free.
Oh, I'm pretty sure
this is how the information I got.
Shortly before we logged on to do this, I was getting all these notifications on Facebook. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I look in and it's like, oh, there are reported comments in your community. I go into Tenkar's Tavern, and there's like 18 or 19 comments flagged by different people. It wasn't just, one, what's the name we always use now? One Karen. It wasn't one Karen making complaints. It was multiple. And I started reading some of these comments, and it was some vile shit going back and forth because it's a hot topic. And it was a link to Aaron and Pedantic's video from earlier today. Wenger put it up. Now, I think if Aaron had submitted it and it went live on there, it might not have gotten the same traction, but because it was V and because this has become the current burning bag of shit in the OSR, everybody, and there was like 65 comments on it. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I don't plan on spending my weekend moderating this pile of shit, which is, in my opinion, overblown. But as Condor said, and I said, it's certainly good marketing. I'm just not going to deal with.
See, I didn't know that your server was blowing up on this. So that's new.
My community was blowing up on it on Facebook. There were again 65 comments. Now, a lot of these comments were people going back and forth, going, Wenger's a Nazi. Oh, you're a piece of shit. You back and forth. I was like, you know what? Enough. Because people, and there's a reason why I say things like the Tenkar's Tavern communities are neutral ground, and it's not because
that's right. You shut that down,
right? Because see here, are political discussions important in life? Certainly, they're probably more important in a lot of ways than talking about gaming. But here's the thing: when I talk about gaming, I want to talk about gaming. I don't want to hear about Nazis, leftists, wokists. There was some comment about
SJWs,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't want to. I don't want that in my gaming talk. Gaming and politics is not for fucking Reese's peanut butter cups. All right, it's not like, oh, it's so much better together. No. It's like taking jelly and a turd and mixing it together, and it does not make the jelly any better. It makes everything. What came out,
and it doesn't make the turd smell any better either.
No, it doesn't. So I mean, so that's why, and that's what the other part of that is when you have political discussions on Facebook. All right, people who might normally, in real life, face to face, if I talked politics with Glenn, you know what? Glenn and I will go back and forth, and maybe we'll share a drink, and at the end we're going to go back to watching a ball game or whatever. We're at the bar.
Well, you will.
When we do this on Facebook, what happens? Facebook, you get the internet muscles, right? And you don't have a face on the other side. You don't have a voice on the other side. You got some nameless schmuck that you can tell where they can pound off at and why they're wrong and why you're right. And I don't have time to play hall monitor all weekend taking care of that shit. So, I mean, and again, I'd rather not see those conversations happening in my community. Again, they never end well. I've never seen one go well. Even if they start off well, somebody takes it to 11, to quote Spinal Tap, and then it gets out of the park. So,
yeah, Facebook is troll land anyway. So there's that.
Well, here's the thing about Facebook and my experience about it. If you're in a community that is well moderated with good rules, you'll likely talk what the topic is, and it won't get derailed very often. But if you're in one of those, I don't know, RPGs, uncensored groups, it's all going to be about politics. All of it. It's all going to be about name calling. And if you have somebody who does anything that's vaguely political on their Facebook feed or a wall or whatever you call it, the responses are going to be vile from both sides because it's not going to be like, oh, it's not a community where you have rules and people go, oh, well, maybe I really shouldn't be a total dick. Maybe I just shouldn't be a total one. Maybe I should only be a little bit of one. And, human nature, it never fails to remind me as to why there need to be rules. Because people are... sorry, Glenn.
Mr. Woodard, hello. Hey, I like this guy.
Yeah, well, listen, here's the thing. I can have conversations...
I like this guy.
I can have conversations with people on the left or the right, and usually it's the one-on-one conversations that are fine. It's when you start talking this out in a group and you've got the people that like to piss in people's cereal for the sake of pissing in people's cereal that are going to then start the fire.
I'm pretty much centrist, and not centrist, but I mean, each side has its good points and its bad points.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Lately, too much politics. Let's get back to what we're talking about, because this is what it is. This is what it is, and I think I've devoted enough time to this. So you had something too. So. Well, I don't mean to shut it down, but
no. And I'll be honest with you. My takeaway from this, or what I'm going to leave you with on this little bit, is if you think Vanguard does good work, and it doesn't have to be all good work, You might have stuff that you like and stuff that you don't like. That's how it is with many creators. Support the work that you like, and don't support the work that you don't like.
Yeah.
And if you like old school
That's the way it
essentials,
goes.
support it. Whether you're buying on drive-through or through whatever distributor you're getting it through. And I think that companies and Exalted Funeral Press, I don't know how big they are. I don't know if they go beyond a few people, but if you're going to put somebody in charge of your Discord, and I have a number of moderators, bartenders, and such at Tenkar's Tavern.
Me.
Here's the secret. First off, you vet them, and secondly, you don't let anybody go around thinking they have unfettered power, because that's when I got some great people that moderate. Nobody's power hungry. Thank God for that, because Exalted Funeral Press sounds like they have a power hungry admin. So, and it's not going
on their Discord anyway.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to lose them a lot of business, but I can guarantee you've given Wenger a significant amount of business. So if that was your plan,
yes,
congratulations.
And Aaron the
well.
So,
well, and
I just want to leave it.
It's certainly gotten traffic. That's
that's good.
And he deserves it. Listen, Aaron's a good guy, and Aaron generally, is somebody who pretty much is middle of the road, or at least is willing to listen to all sides, from both sides of the road. And
he is. He's a great listener.
That's really all I ask.
Yeah.
I mean, he was at North Texas.
And you know what? I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah.
I bent his ear for like 2-3 hours at North Texas that Sunday. So, yeah. I want to leave it with this footnote. And, there are some people said, because I've been pretty outspoken about how OSE has stolen Labyrinth Lord's thunder X market. And I said, I bet you're glad they're getting slapped. I says, no, I'm not. This affects everybody. I mean, I don't want to see Necrotic Gnome go down. They have a great product. Just because some idiot on a Discord server has got to pull something like that, I don't think he should have to pay for it. So I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I mean, again, Glenn, it brings up more issues, like you're saying. It brings up what is the proper amount of moderation on a Discord server? Like, what is a bannable offense? And usually, aside from spammers, which we had a huge problem with spammers for a while on the
I remember that.
And we've occasionally had people that have stepped out of line. We don't ban very many. I think if we ban, I'm going to say if we ban a half dozen a year, we've gone up. Now, at the same time, I've told my moderators, if you're going to ban somebody, it better be for good reason, and you don't need to clear it by me ahead of time, because if I'm trusting you as a moderator, I'm trusting you to have patience. And I've gone back and I've read the conversations when people have gotten banned, and I've not seen any situation where I was like, oh man, my mod was totally wrong. Although I've seen it where they've gotten hooked, and you know what? I'll be honest with you, I've gotten hooked. And I probably would say that I would react similarly if I got hooked. So,
it's crazy out there. So, get into your big topic. You got any news on the Kickstarter front?
On the Kickstarter front, well, oh God, into the Madlands, right? That is Jeff Jones' Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. That I actually I've got a print copy somewhere waiting off the window. Oh, here it is. Hold on. A Journey into the Madlands. So Mike and I had Jeff on Wednesday. God damn, this virtual screen, the green didn't. Oh, there we go. So Journey into the Madlands, it's hex. It's hexes. It's a bit of a sandbox. It's it's pretty much system neutral if you play any kind of D&D-ish game. So if you're playing Gamma World, if you're playing Mutant Future, you can use this without much, adjustment. If you're playing
I should
MCC,
look into it.
Yeah, it's still, I think, another week or so left in it. Also, Jeff has run. We're going to have Torchlight issue number 1 available in print at GameholeCon, and yes, Glenn, I'm going to be saving an issue for you.
That makes me happy.
You're going to get an issue sent to you, Glenn. So you should, because it's your cover.
I'm thinking of putting more art out just to put on drive-through to make more money. You guys are doing good, and thank you, by the way. I've been getting a nice chunk of that.
Well, the chunk is still relatively small because I am barely a publisher. I mean, and I don't mean that in like are you a publisher? Like, yes, we have, like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products out. But it's not like we are hiring people and making real money off this. It's a passion thing. My goal, like Swords of Witchery Continual Light, when we get that one out for the digest size, that should be by Christmas, God willing.
Good.
That's a passion project. I've invested a good portion of the drive-through RPG Now affiliate monies that have been made over the last 2 or 3 years in that, and in giving away. When we hit 500, we gave away 500, and when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we gave away 500. Well, I gave away $1,000 in drive-through RPG gift certificates since June. So the coffers are bare. So if you want to go and support the tavern, you can go to tankerstavern.com and go to one of the affiliate links and use those affiliate links to do your shopping. It will help. It goes back to the community. It goes back to the projects. It goes back to the other creators. Really, we're going to be working on Torchlight issue number 2 probably when I get back from Gamehole, assuming that we've got...
Which already has a cover. Tell Jeff.
Yes. So if we get, that properly done and out the door by Christmas, then we should have Torchlight 2, Swords of Wizardry Continual Light. Now, Swords of Wizardry Continual Light, Jeff has a good printer. We are probably going to do a limited print run from an actual, not a print on demand, high quality printer like Journey into the Madlands and Torchlight issue number 1 is going to be. We'll probably do the same for Swords of Wizardry Continual Light. And what that means is that I'm going to put myself, not me. I'm going to be putting Rachel in for a World of Hurt, because for us, post office means 2 people, because you need one to wait in the car and either park in the no parking or sit double parked. And Rach has to go in and be the mail lady. So she'll probably wind up having to do that. So we don't have a price yet. I got to see what the pricing is going to be. For those that are going to be asking about international shipping, I will suggest this. Reach out to me after the digest size releases, and if you purchase the PDF, reach out to me directly. And if you need me to give you a personal permission to print a copy at your local print shop for your own personal use, I will do so for you, because it's going to cost more to ship that anywhere in the world than it will to actually print it by far. So I'd rather we both save the money on shipping, and we'll probably handle it that way. I think that's probably the best. Now, down the line, once we get rid of that initial print run, which again, Rachel will be making all these wonderful mail runs for, we will put it up as print on demand on drive-through. So that will happen. So if you're willing to wait, and drive-through allows you, if you're in other places of the world that they have facilities to print, you can get things that are a bit more locally priced. So we're trying to accommodate everybody as best we can. You know, nobody's getting rich.
Remember that Swords and Wizardry? Hey, remember that Swords and Wizardry Continual Light supplement you're going to put out for Undead that you had me do all that artwork? I am so glad you did that, because that's what I'm cannibalizing for the Torchlight cover, because I'm using it for Torchlight covers.
No, that's fine. And actually, what we probably
I got a couple more. That for the first issue was the flesh you had me do.
Oh, well, see, what we probably should do is do an issue of Torchlight using a lot of that art. It's like an Undead Monster special. Wouldn't be done in time for Halloween, but maybe we'll do it. We'll start doing some themed issues. I've also been asked when we'll be taking submissions again. I already have some submissions that got held over for issue number 2 of Torchlight. So we have to get through those. So once we see what we have and what we need, we'll let everybody know. So
you were so right, David.
What did David say?
Reading it. Sorry.
The first rule of International Shipping Club is you do not talk about International Shipping Club. Yes, listen, international shipping. I did some international shipping a couple of years ago. All right, probably more than a couple of years ago, probably closer to 8. And you can mail out small things, and it was expensive, but it didn't whack you over the fucking head. But now it's ridiculous. It's like, all right, I can go down to the pub and have my pub lunch, 3 beers and a Tullamore Dew, or I can ship a copy of Torchlight across the seas. Jeez, I think I'll stick with the pub lunch, please. And that being said, I know people, publishers, that ship internationally at a loss, and that is a shame.
I know of one.
Yeah,
Glenn Seal does that every time he sends me something.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, so, it's like they're eating $10-15. They're not just losing their profit; they're actually taking a loss on that total shipment. And I'm not saying that that's not a wonderful thing to do for your fans across the seas, but it's not sustainable, really, and that's a shame.
No,
it really is.
It really isn't.
Sword of the Wizard Continually Undead Special. I'd buy that in a heartbeat. Like I said, the great thing about Torchlight is it
or lack of a heartbeat.
It gives us a venue or a medium where we can get that done on a size that won't be overwhelming, and it'll be digest size, which will go along with the new Swords of Wizardry Continually digest size. Also, we have pub crawls, which probably won't get touched until we get issue 2 laid out and ready to go. And pub crawls will be the short 1-sheet, 4 pages of a digest-sized adventure. Bad Mike has been doing a couple of these. We got a couple in the hopper, but we just got to get other stuff done before we get that out. So, good night, David. We are sorry we started late. It wasn't because we were trying to screw with David Thompson. We got other ways to screw with people.
No, never.
Be good, David. Yes, Fulman. There are actually people that live across the pond, as they say it. Isn't that how the proper terminology, Glenn? Across the pond?
Yeah, something like that. So, what do I know? I'm a stupid Yank.
Oh, here's something I want to remind people of, and I'm going to be doing this. If you find
turn
it
your
annoying,
clocks back. No,
not yet. No,
not yet. No.
So this channel is now monetized, which means that you're probably seeing ads pop up either before the live stream or when you're watching, maybe later on, during the in the middle of your episode when you're watching it. I understand that's a pain in the ass. I understand it. Here's the thing.
Hey, can I do the honors? Can I do the honors? I'll just do it like I do on my show. Yeah. We're monetized, so as little as 99 cents a month, you too can help support this program, and we would thank you.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the skinny. Bad Mike is working on getting an account set up. What we are going to do is for the live streams. The live streams are going to be priced at $25 an episode. You sponsor the episode. We won't run any ads. It'll be an ad-free episode sponsored by whatever publisher or whatever supporter. You're going to get a blurb on the bottom. You'll get your shout out. You'll get your link in the chat. And you'll be sponsoring that episode. Then, when it comes to the non-live streams, the shorter ones that I do on a daily basis that aren't live, they're $10 an episode. So if you don't want to see ads, or you think that it would be to your benefit to sponsor and not have our viewers see ads, this is a way to sponsor the show. The money is going to go to the Doug Ray Memorial Fund, which is going to be put aside.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, it's going to be money that is specifically to help gamers who have funding issues to make it to North Texas, and for the old guard who often don't have health insurance, don't have pensions. Help them when they are in dire need. We'll have a fund we can dip into and help them. So that's what that money is.
What is this pension thing?
The pension thing, Glenn, is what allows me to be retired. I'm sorry.
I thought it's just a wife that works. So.
Oh, well, I understand that. That helps too. But no, I'm a retired civil servant, so I have a decent pension. I'm not complaining about it, and as long as I don't live extravagantly, it's certainly livable. If I lived in a
at least you get to go to conventions.
Well, yeah, but the conventions are. Now that's a tough one, because I did not make it to ShireCon this year because I had the car problems. But new car as of yesterday, so we are rocking along. But here's the thing, folks: conventions, right? Are they going to be the same? I don't know. I mean, as it stands right now, the Game Hall initially was like, "Oh, we're not going to require masks, but we are going to require vaccines because we are a kid-friendly convention and kids under 12 can't get vaccinated. So we want everybody to just be vaccinated so our kids are safe." That's great. Problem is, Dane County in Wisconsin, I believe, still has a mask mandate. So you're going to have to be vaccinated and still wear a mask. Gen Con had a mask mandate, and they did away with their mask mandate when the county said, well, yeah, if you have a convention, everybody's got to be masked up, vaccine or not. And they went, all right, well, screw the vaccine. We're just going to go with masks. So time will tell. I'll be honest with you. I was not nervous about ShireCon, but going to a convention with a potential of a couple thousand it is a little bit more nerve-wracking. But I can go for my third shot, so maybe I shall. Then I'll be.
You talk me into a booster. I've been it, but you're gonna have to talk me into a booster.
Oh well, here's my thought on it, and I'm not a medical professional. I'm not giving professional advice. In for a penny, in for a pound, right? I've already had 2 shots. Any adverse effect from having 2 shots is probably not going to be any more adverse than having 3 shots. 3 shots will likely protect me
I just
better
don't
than
want to
the
go
2
through.
shots. To go through
Just
what?
don't want to go through the hassle.
Yeah,
Go through
no,
the first
I got to
time
figure out
because
where.
I wanted North. Since Gage was going with me, I wanted North Texas to go smoothly, and I didn't know what kind of stuff I was going to see, or find there, what the hotel did. So, better safe than sorry, you know.
So yeah, it's I don't know. I am not somebody who's pro-vaccine mandate. I live in New York City. You can't walk into your local pub without having a vaccine card and ID to go along with it. So I'm not. I don't agree with that. But as a personal choice, yes, I'm vaccinated because I've got comorbidities up the wazoo, and it was for me. For me, it was a no-brainer. But for my son.
Yeah. Also, I got diabetes and body parts missing, so there's that.
Well, Glenn, if you got body parts missing, we can make a collection for you.
Yeah, can you find me a working pancreas?
Somebody donate Glenn a working pancreas. Is a pancreas kind of like which is the one that regenerates?
And a spleen?
Oh, nobody needs a spleen. A spleen is
I thought
it's
a
like
liver
a
was
gallbladder.
what
Nobody knows what they do, right? Nah, they're overrated.
All that stuff breaks down your food when you eat. Breaks down your food.
Well, then maybe you do need it.
It's kind of important. It's kind of important, you know. Anyway, hey, all right, Mr. Woodard, seeing you again. Hope we can talk soon. Hope you can be on the show here sometime.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Glenn.
talk about Luke. You had the big story on Luke and the lawsuit and all that kind of stuff.
And here's the thing with this. And again, if you want to link to the actual lawsuit, tenkarstavern.com. I linked it up earlier this week. I did a breakdown of the allegations. And again, they're allegations. This stuff isn't proven. All right. The allegations that mention Luke, Gary Kahn, I think they also mention a miniature company. That stuff I pulled out because it was relevant to the gaming hobby. The stuff about Ken Turbovich, if you read, it's 104 pages, and I will apologize. I was not going to go through that and pull out all the salacious stuff that's going to make you go, what the really made me go, oh. Things about rituals and all that stuff. Now, if it's true, it's pretty outlandish, and it falls under, I think, the what's the general rule? 25% of a lawsuit is factual, 50% is based loosely on fact, and 25% is total bullshit. It could be even greater as total bullshit in this one, but it's definitely an entertaining read. And I have been in communications with Luke. There might be a follow-up to get some commentary from Luke. So he's offered to answer questions. There's been questions going back and forth. Honestly, the real issue, I would say, appears to be Ken Turbovich, affectionately known as Turbo. And the reason why it's relevant is because he's been a volunteer at GaryCon for a number of years and involved with the con. My only dealing with Turbovich was probably my first GaryCon back in 2016, 2017, when he came over to the Frog God table and handed Mike and I a bunch of knives, because one of his companies is a knife company, the same company that makes bayonets for the Marines, and or so I've been told. And just these are for you. So it's like a bunch of like cool knives being handed. I don't know why we got them. I don't think Mike knows why we got them, but they were cool. So,
mm-hmm.
yeah, read it. read the allegations, not because you want to read about Gary Kahn, although or Luke, that'll make you stop because you're going to recognize. But if you want to be read something that has the makings of like a real like a B level soap opera. I mean, Ken Turbovich's escapades, as detailed in this lawsuit allegations, would fall under that level. I don't think I've ever read something quite like that, which is why I just pulled out the Gary Kahn stuff. Yes.
So what you're saying is Luke has gone turbo?
No. Well, Luke.
That's for all the people out here who get that joke.
You know, I'm trying not to get that joke, all right? Because I'm trying. You're making me be the straight man today, and that's not a job I'm usually used to doing. Usually, I'm the one that's not playing the straight part. But yes. So from what I understand, Luke and Turbo have a military history between each other, and listen, Gary Kahn is Luke's Kahn. I don't think there's been any claims otherwise. Turbo has been volunteering for a number of years. What his actual responsibilities are or were, I've been told that 2019 was his, I guess the end of the physical cons was the last time he participated. I'm trying to figure out what his actual responsibilities were. It's hard to knock down. He seems like he was a jack of all trades. So, but
jerk of all. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's relevant because it's our hobby, and it's relevant that if these allegations against Turbo become factual, then it becomes were any of these salacious activities happening at the con, and what goes on with that. So, but yeah, when this came up last weekend, Saturday morning, I had a PM waiting for me. That was like, you got to read this lawsuit. And I read the lawsuit. I started reading it, and I was like, wow, nothing. I went, oh, all right. Oh, this Gary Kahn, Gen Con, and went, Turbo. Why does that name sound familiar? And I went, oh, now I know why it sounds familiar. So, and then after that, then I was getting, the phone calls and the PMs are, when are you going to cover this? Because, Tenkar covers everything that's newsworthy, and this was newsworthy. But honestly, 104 pages of I don't know what you want to call it, a large amount of burning poop. It takes a while to digest, and I actually got to learn how to use my iPad and use it to mark up a PDF because I had to go through it with that kind of a mentality. It's like I feel like I'm grading a school paper. So I was like, oh, jeez. So that's what's going on with that one. But again, it's allegations. You make as many allegations as you can, coming from somebody who was sued for $4 million for doing my job, and got named in the lawsuit for an incident that happened prior to me arriving on the scene. I know they throw everybody into a lawsuit that they can, because the more names, the more allegations, hopefully the more times you actually get the ring as you're going around the merry-go-round. It's like, oh, no, you didn't get that ring. Here's another ring. You didn't get that ring. Oh, but you got that ring. That ring might be worth $500,000. You just got to get, a couple of rings. So if you're not making
on
allegations,
the price,
you're not getting any money. What was that?
On the Price is Right. Yeah.
There you go.
The lawsuit is right.
The lawsuit is right. So, I mean, if you read the lawsuit and you believe anything in there about Turbo, you're going to go, oh, damn, he's a vile person. You might read it and go, I don't believe anybody could have
But
done
I
any of
thank
this.
him for. But I thank him.
I
But I
thank him
thank
for the
him for his
knives.
service to this country.
Yeah, and I thank him for the knives that never made it
The service to
anywhere.
his country.
Well, of course. So, I mean, but again,
Well, at least you didn't find
me,
those knives in your back.
dude. I told you about the time I inadvertently flew with what's that device that goes zap?
Zapper? No. Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
exactly.
about.
Yeah.
I
So
can't think of it right now.
yeah. So I had this device that looked a lot like an electric shaver, and I had taken it with me to the Poconos, thinking it was my electric shaver. So then I fly out to, of all places, Madison, Wisconsin, game home, and I'm there for a couple of days. And I'm like, maybe I need to shave. And I go, and I went, oh my God, this isn't my shaver.
A
This is
taser.
something. Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Matt.
So somehow New York TSA did not find it in my carry-on luggage, but I donated it to the Frog God vehicle for potential purposes or need. I was not going to fly back to Madison with it because in Madison, the TSA is pulling out your RPG books and reading them. The last thing I wanted to do was pull out the shaver that wasn't a shaver because that would have been not so good. So yes, I inadvertently I almost
That would
I
not been
almost got
cool.
myself in trouble. What's that, Glenn?
I said that would not have been cool.
No, it would not have been cool. And Rachel would be like, "What are you doing to my husband?"
Of course, if you're fast enough, you get them before they get you.
No, it wouldn't have happened because it was in my carry-on, not in my pocket. That would have been a real McGillicuddy.
Sorry, that's the way full on gamer thinks. I'll take it. That's the way full on gamer thinks. Oh yeah, I'll say.
Oh, as long as you're quicker than they are, you're good. It's like, there's many of them, and there's one of me, and I'm not looking for any trouble. You see, don't turn me into a poet. Don't turn me into a poet. So now, Glenn, have you been gaming?
Yes, I have. I gamed, well, the Monday game, of course, the Eberron game, the 5e Eberron game. A lot of fun. We're in the middle of a battle right now, and I think we're going to win. We got to fight some undead. But the Thursday game, Matt's Thursday Beck Me Rule Cyclopedia game, the first session with Gage. Gage is now part of the group. And he's Matt's pretty hardcore too. Like, 3d6 straight down. Right. And so he is now playing Crunk the Thief.
Crunk the Thief.
Which shows you how his rolling went. And we're having a pretty good time investigating he's basically running us through the Horror in the Hill.
Oh.
So we've been wandering the woods trying to find the stupid monastery. And we finally found it. And so we had a couple of fights. I did a really good... you wasted that spell because I'm playing a second level elf. So I get 2 spells. And Matt handed me a sheet that he found on Reddit saying, okay, one of your slots can be these cantrips. I said, okay. And then it gave me 4 spells. I say, these are the 4 spells in your spell book right now. One of them was light. So I took a light and all the cantrips. And I managed to mess up an ogre real good by lighting up his eyes during the battle.
Oh, okay. You blinded him.
He was -4. He was -4 to hit, and it was -4 to hit and -4 AC for 8 rounds. And it's like, guys, finish him off, please. Gage did some pretty cool things. He actually got a backstab in on the ogre. A few more things. I can't remember what they were. I think there were just some goblins or something like that. And that's where it stands. So Gage was really, really getting into it. He's playing this middle-aged thief. And this is his description. A middle-aged, dumpy-looking thief. I think he based him on me.
Oh, so, nice.
But he's got an 18 dex, so everybody lost. He's got really good rolls for his thieving abilities.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing. What about you?
Joe the lawyer. He's
now.
He's running a Monday night game.
I was just going to say we were supposed to have a game tonight with. I wouldn't be there, but with Jason.
Right.
But he canceled out. Which he also wants to play with soon. I don't know if he wants you. See, the problem is we're using this thing called, what is it, House Party or something like that.
Right.
Can't remember what it is, but it's called House Party. It's one of those like we're doing now, and he house parties me in, but unfortunately, House Party just sent a notice last time. It says, well, we're going to end in November. Thank you very much. We're ending in November. So now we're going to look. I said, well, Charles, let's go to Discord or something. I don't care. So he's looking into it. But anyway, you were saying Joe the lawyer.
Joe the lawyer has been running a game on Monday nights. It's a Bronze Age fantasy heartbreaker that Joe has designed himself. I don't know how much combat we've actually gotten into because his combat's going to be deadly as hell. So we're all kind of trying to avoid combat.
What happened to him?
He decided he wanted his own OSR game, but it's Bronze Age. So
okay,
he did a lot of research. So it's myself, Tim Shorts, Rob Conley, my friend Greg, who's been popping in, annoying us. And then we did have, am I forgetting somebody from this combination here? I think there's the four of us. I think we had Matt Jackson was supposed to be part of the group, but he got a new job, so he don't have the time. But it's been fun, and it's a good group, and I'm playing with players that are probably better players than me, which keeps me on my toes and makes me push myself. So it's good.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad you're playing that. Is it fun?
It's fun, of course, and it's the usual thing too. Like it's the first 20 minutes is like in a regular gaming group face-to-face table. Your first 20 minutes, catching up, bullshitting. Even though we're playing over Roll20 and Discord, need your first 20 minutes to get all the story down, all the catching up, and what's going on, and what's with this.
This is how you catch up.
Yes. So, but it's been good to
my
get back.
Game's worse. I do it once a month.
You know what? We're doing it once a week, but we've had the prior week I had to bow out because I had a stomach flu that was not making it likely that I could sit at the desk for a 3-hour game session. It was most likely I would not have survived.
Right.
So
I understand that.
But
I can't do more than 2 hours myself.
Well, my sciatic would kick in too at some point, but yes, David, it is like a real table when you're playing on a VTT with people that you know and that you have a rhythm with, right? You have a connection with. It's hard when people complain that VTTs aren't like a real game session. You know what the problem is? You don't have connections with the people you're playing with. VTTs are great for pickup games, but a pickup game is just like a con game. You're not going to, sometimes you're lucky and you know people at the table and you have that connection. But if you don't, you just kind of have to, fake your way through it. Same thing with VTTs. But you're more likely
Yep.
to find yourself in a pickup game with a VTT than you are if you have once you get into a regularly scheduled group of people, the similarities between a VTT and the quote real table is amazing, and I've loved it. I've had the opportunity to play with in regular games with players from Vancouver, Canada, Georgia, Florida, uh, obviously New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I anybody from California? Probably not, but you get to really make real friendships, and I think that's important. And that's kind of the reason why, like Glenn and I do this. Yes, you're listening to Glenn and I catch up on stuff and talk about events and talk about games, but this is really what your pregame talk is about, right? So you're getting an extended pregame talk, and I think it's important, especially important in COVID. Because you're not
And
getting
I
a
don't
chance.
get to see this man more. I don't see this man more than once a year. So
Yeah,
there's that.
so we need this. I mean, and Glenn's
We're
probably
not
the only.
buddying together. We're not.
No, but Glenn's like the only person I know of who appreciates tunnels and trolls like I do. Everybody else is like, tunnels and trolls. Like, what kind of game is tunnels and trolls? Well, it can be a
So
shoot
when
up
we
game.
get together in the Pocono, should we spend a? So when we get together in the Pocono, should we spend a week playing tunnels and trolls?
Oh my god, I don't. If we did, I'd have
I
to
don't think
break
I
out
could.
the black. I'd break out the 5e UK edition, the black and gold box.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
All I got anymore is. All I got is deluxe anymore.
Oh, see,
I sold the black box, the little one. I gave Mark Hunt my original 3E box because he for research. And all I've got is deluxe now, which is okay because you can run with that.
I have.
So anyway,
I have a reprint of the first edition. I have Ken St. Andre's second edition. I don't have third. I do have fourth. I have 5 and 5e. And fifth edition, by the way, is in so many different flavors if you're a collector, because you've got various UK versions and various US printings.
I think you even have the
which. Well, you have at least 3
the
different
UK.
UK.
I think you even have the UK. You got the UK paperback version, don't you?
I have 3 versions of the UK TNT releases. I have the black box with the gold lettering or gold letters on it, and that box is beat to shit. Then I have the orange box from Britain, which if you ever bought the for more recent collectors, the Brave Halfling, when they put out the Swords and Wizardry white box, you know how that box was so shitty that if you breathed on it, the corners busted out. The orange box is like that. The corners bust out by just looking at it. And then you have the Corgi series of releases. And what's great about the Corgi releases?
The Corgi. That's the one you have the Corgi paperback.
Here's the thing, and this is why I really love the Corgi releases.
It's hard to find.
They're hard to find.
I loved it too. I have a copy.
Flying Buffalo used to have them in stock. Blue Gaming Troll. Email me at tenkars.tavern@gmail.com, and I'll let you know how we are going to work this out. I said Mike is still trying to get us an account that you can pay directly that's going to go toward it, and there's a reason why, because I'm not looking to get taxed on money that I'm donating, and but we want to go right to an account so there's no discrepancy of, well, I gave it to Tenkar and Tenkar has to give it to Mike. We're going to have an account that's just going to take it, and it's going to be for the Doug Ray Memorial account. But thank you. Again, email me, tenkars.tavern@gmail.com, and tell me you want to sponsor Triple D. as we've been affectionately calling it. But the Corgi books, there's a bunch of them that are 2 solos and an abridged version of the rules, which is by far more than you need to run small groups. It's a great addition of the rules. There's also a Corgi version,
and they also have a paperback of the what he said, the main rules,
and that one's hard to find. I've gotten
that's the one you want.
I've gotten 2 copies of that. Both are beat to shit. But that I'm looking
for one.
I'm looking for a more pristine copy. But the other ones you can usually get in mint or shelf worn, which isn't bad at all. So and they're great. If you can find the Corgi copy, for a while they were like, I don't know, $6.95 over on the Flying Buffalo site, but with Rick passing and another company picking up Flying Buffalo and Tunnels and Trolls.
Slack.
No, they got bought out. You know, the IP was bought, and I believe all the stock was bought. So I don't know what's going on with that. So time will tell. We shall see. But yeah,
you should have willed it to like Liz or something, Liz Danforth or something.
Yeah, you know,
keep it in that family. You know,
I guess he wanted to, let his family be taken care of by having the company get sold. You know, it's rare to have people leave something to non-relatives, and they go, "Okay, hon, I know you thought you were going to inherit the company, but I gave it to." I'm like, what? I thought, that was my retirement monies, or whatever. So yeah, it's just rough. I never second guess that. I mean, sadly, my last conversation with Rick was years ago, with the publication of the Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Horrible shipping method they used for my 10 paperbacks and 1 hardcover. Oh my God. When the post office gives you a package that's retaped, missing 3 books, 3 looked like somebody threw them across the room and then sat on them. It really is rough because they didn't use proper packing material. They didn't use proper cardboard. It was like that cheap ass cardboard that, when you get a package shipped from Amazon and they repackage it and you go in to get the actual package, it's like, oh wow, this cardboard's really crappy inside. That's the reason why they repackaged it, I'm sure, because they knew. Well, somebody should have known. So, let me catch up to the last thing. First, Frank. Yeah, I only have the reprint of the first. I thought I have Ken St. Andre's signed 2nd edition, and I thought I had something that could top Bill Meinhardt. And if you don't know who Bill Meinhardt is, he's basically got the unofficial RPG museum going. Honest to God, I'm not kidding you. This man's collection is amazing. And Bill sat down next to me at North Texas one time with this catalog of everything he had, and it was like yay thick, at least. I'm trying to get there we go. We can see that. Wow. Yay thick. And he's like, I'm looking through this. I'm like, man, well, Bill, I think I have something that you might not have. Really? I doubt it. I go, well, all right. Well, Bill, I have Ken St. Andre's 2nd edition play copy, his personal copy, signed by Ken himself, Ken St. Andre. He goes, oh, that's a pretty good find. I'm like, thank you. Then he flips through his fucking catalog, goes to points, and he goes, yeah, I have Ken St. Andre's 1st edition play copy signed by Ken. And I was like, oh, you fastened son of a freaking mother. All I wanted was 1. I just wanted 1.
Razzing, fratting.
Just 1 little win. That's all I wanted.
Anyway, we should probably wrap up. What do you think?
Sure. We gave them an hour and 15. That's actually pretty. We started late. There was stuff going on both sides of the not the pond. We're
both sides of the country here.
Yeah, we're in the same no, actually Oklahoma's on the other side of the Mississippi. So we are separated by water.
It is.
All right, there we go. Next show,
cool, clear
for
water. No, it's actually muddy.
Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse will be in
the 15th.
Aaron the Pendantic will be joining us.
If he's still talking to us.
He will. Because, again, I can disagree with that man, and we'll still be on the same page otherwise. He's good. He's a solid
That's right. Individual. We'll still be on good terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Difference of opinion does not negate friendship.
Now, folks, as always, we're in the midst of the world of the pandemic. I'm not a medical professional. I am vaccinated. That was the choice I made because of my medical conditions. I'm not saying you should get vaccinated. I'm just saying use your common sense. All right? Take actions to keep yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends healthy and safe. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And I'll be back tomorrow with Rach at 8 p.m. for Gamers Health. Oh, boy. You guys have been great with us, supporting us.
Bye, folks.
So I can't thank you enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, subscribe, like, comment. The normal stuff. They always tell you.
Don't forget his myriad of shows and stuff are called Radio Grognard.
Oh, that's right. Don't miss Radio Grognard. Yes.
Every day.
Every day.
Oh, and Thanko's Hammer. And Thanko's Hammer, too, when we get it out. So.
Right. Every day for Radio Grognard, and when the lunar cycle cycles for
Thanko's Hammer.
Thanko's Hammer. Yeah. Kind of follows lunar cycles occasionally. Maybe. All right, folks. On that note.